Thank you very much. First, I'd like to commend the presentation by the ambassador on a very difficult issue for us all, for the world. I want to commend the professionalism in the presentation. I want to urge him, and I do hope that he has presented that in a number of other fora. I would urge him, if he hasn't yet, to present it in a number of the magazines which deal with this subject. Uh, Historically, Guyana has been supporting uh, much of what the ambassador has said, in that we have uh, been always proclaiming that we would like to see a two-state solution coming out of this conflict. Interestingly, one of our leaders has been a Jew person, Mrs. Janet Jagan, but we have always been critical of the expansionism of Israel that has occurred since the end of World War II. My thinking has been that the Western forces, the Western countries, maybe have been so embarrassed by what happened to the Jews in the Second World War that they would have maybe initially allowed uh, Israel and people in Israel, the leaders in Israel, to get onto paths that they may not have otherwise allowed. And now the difficulty is to constrain what has been happening and to pull things in. Uh, of course, we all know that this matter goes back very long back in history. And the challenge is to find a way out, to get a solution. I think we see now that the people in the Middle East, the Arabs and Muslims in the Middle East, are coming together more towards a solution. I must admit that I have not come upon the Arab solution that the ambassador referred to. It would be good it would be good for me sometimes to get hold of it and to review it. Uh, but I would say that we've had the Israeli situation has, or let me back up here and say that the situation in the Middle East, where, in my view, there's much social evolution taking place. That situation has allowed the people in the West and Israel to do what they have been doing. But I think the matters in the Middle East are being resolved. The internal matters in the Middle East are being resolved. And my hope is that it will it will push the US and the West towards a fair solution for the Palestinian questions. I mean, if we look back on it, if we think of the situation in Egypt and other countries uh, surrounding Israel in the area, we could see that they have a lot of local issues, significant local issues, and in my view, uh, the Western powers have been riding on those local, exploiting those local conflicts and issues. Uh, for example, to state it plainly, I would say that many of the leaders in the surrounding countries have an ambiguous attitude towards Hamas and other protesting groups in Israel, because they have potentially their own protests in their own countries, and that has led them so far has led them into being into a very ambiguous situation, even a sympathetic situation to Israel. Uh, um, I know that there is universal, at least in the West, universal condemnation of the events of October 7th in 2023, and yes, the horror of what took place at that moment. I think none of us could be comfortable with the horror that took place at that moment. But also we have to look, as I think the ambassador's presentation would have indicated, look at the longer period of time. Uh, in 1947, say, there was a state of Palestine, no state of Israel. Today, there's a state of Israel, at least on many maps. It seems to have switched, the name seems to have switched from Palestine to Israel. There's the state of Israel, but there's no state of Palestine. Uh, I think, though, that we always have to hope that a path will be found towards peace, and as the ambassador said, justice, a feeling of justice and resolutions of past hurts somehow are required. I think that if we look at the ending of the South African history and the ending of apartheid, it can give us hope that even when, even when there seems to be no route forward, that we can find something that we should persist in searching for peace. And I end by commending again the presentation of the ambassador. I think that it is important that his message, his view be put, because I think it is a true view. I think it is a true view that needs to be put out there. Many people need to know of it so that uh, a situation would be created where Israel also uh, feels that it must work towards peace. If you look at it has struck me before even today that when the Palestinian side made movements towards peace, the the Israel or individuals in Israel had stopped it. There was the assassination of the prime minister who had entered into that agreement, misses me now his name. And then at one time when there was working toward, it was, things seemed to be going towards peace, another person went there and broke it up. So I think the view from the ambassador that the ambassador has put needs to be made more known and should be presented in as many fora as he could with any help that we could provide him. Thank you very much.